Alright guys, I'm going to go through my trade recap for both my accounts actually, my small account with Questrade, and I did a couple of trades over the last 2 days in my little more of a swing trade TFSA that's kind of dedicated to Canadian MJ stocks. So obviously my small account with Questrade is just dedicated to NASDAQ, trading momentum, and just really trying to get comfortable with getting in and out of trades, respecting my stop loss and my risk management, and also trying to take some profits off the table. So we excuse me. Me and Lutz marked this up last night. These were some important resistance levels that we were looking at into the after hours. Obviously in pre-market, sorry again, this is NADL. Obviously in pre-market this thing started to move, also kept respecting our support and resistance levels, and then it broke out in pre-market. I got to work about here, and I saw this put this top in around here at 358 in the morning. I need to get to work a little bit earlier so I can start really following this pre-market. Obviously we're 3 hours behind. 3 hours behind? 3 hours behind in BC. So, you know, to get up at 7 a.m. means to get up at 4 a.m. for us. So I like to try and get in here and catch this last kind of hour to half an hour of pre-market, because that's really going to depict the open and really set in these kind of highs. So this is the 1 minute chart, and this was my trade. Unfortunately it was a red trade, so 358 high in the pre-market, came down here, kind of leveled out, consolidated a little bit, put in a couple of bottoms, bit of a higher low, but then it sold off into the open. And this is just people, you know, taking profits from this big move that they held overnight. I don't blame them. I would have done the same thing. So pre-market high was 358. So I told myself, all right, I saw it bounce off of here, off of the 200 EMA on the 1 minute. Got bought up on the dip. Again, tried to put in a little bounce, got bought up with a higher low. And I told myself, all right, over 350, I'm going to get long. And then I thought, you know what, pre-market high is 358. Why don't we just play it safe, and I'll get in over the 360 mark. So I had a buy stop limit set for 360 with a trigger set, or sorry, a trigger set for 360 with a limit set for 362. I learned some stuff on Chart Guy's Chartman Dan video last night that you should always wait for the candle to close above the resistance. And today I didn't respect that. So I got long on this 1 minute candle. When it popped over 360, it grabbed my order. It popped up to a high of 366. I was really excited for it, and then it actually came down on this same candle, and it closed, and it hit a low of 341. So I jumped out. I run a 10-cent stop loss because I'm looking for a 2-to-1 risk versus reward. So 10-cent stop loss for 20-cent profit. And unfortunately, you know, I had to jump out of it. So this thing was pretty volatile. The spread was a nice size on it, but because it didn't close above the 360, above that resistance, it actually ended up pulling back. And unfortunately for me, on the next candle, it opened up above, and it kept moving. So, well, not quite above, but pretty much, and it moved up to a high of 375. Knowing myself, getting in at 362, I probably would have hit sell on this when I saw it spike at 375. It's just the way I am. I'm running this account right now. I say I want 20 cents, but you know what? I will jump out for 15 cents. I'm still learning to really hold on to my winners, and I feel that I've really come to an understanding to let go of my losers and not hold on to my losers and dump those right away. And that's kind of what I did on this. I saw it come down, and I didn't want to wait for it and wait for it and wait for it because, you know, at the end of the day, we came down here, bounced off the 200 EMA, and we made a move up. And then we came back down, and yeah, we bounced off these 3 moving averages, but in the heat of the trade, I really wasn't looking at that. I was kind of focusing on the volume. I saw this volume push, and then I saw the drop down, and I just got out, right? And you know, it was quick. These quick 1 minute setups are really tough to stay consolidated with your thoughts almost and really focus on the price action. Obviously a longer trade, you got time to think, things move a lot slower, but on these quick momentum trades, especially out of the gate in the first few minutes, I mean, have a look. Boom, we sold off, we opened at 334, we hit a low at 311, and then 2 minutes later we're hitting a high of 366. So this thing actually ended up carrying on. This came down again and tested the $3.50, kind of that $0.50, and around that 9 EMA on the 1 minute, and then it pushed up to a high of 389. So yeah, I missed the move, and it killed me, and it kind of threw me off for the day because after Oh, it's just on the daily, actually. I was also looking at these support and resistance levels too. So this 357 was this top end, which had also hit in the pre-market, and I was also looking for it to open over top of the 200 EMA on the daily. So these are some other resistance levels I was looking at, and these are the moves that it's made in the last few days. So we were looking at a gap fill here and also a gap fill here, which it did. It really did. So it was great to see that. Yeah, I didn't get money on it. I didn't turn a green trade, but you know what? It's always great to pull something off your watch list and watch it play out. ADPT, Lutz found this last night. It was 80% short interest on it, and we put it on our watch list, and then sure enough, lots of other traders had caught it and they put it on their watch list too. So big audience is going to make big moves. This is hilarious. This is a bumble on my behalf. I looked at this at 197 on this candle. This is a high of 197. I thought, you should get in over $2. I really did. I was actually chatting with Jordan at the time, and he was like, I think he was dealing with his boss or something, and we were both talking about this. Oh yeah, you know what? We should set an order for over $2. I think he was going ahead and starting the order, and sure enough, in the next candle, this thing popped over $2 to a high of 209, and it came back tested the $2 support. And that was it. It short squeezed and it was gone. I mean, look at all these candles. Tiny little wicks on them. Not a lot of movement. You got, what is that? 221 up to 232. So not, 10 cents, 9 cents per wick. Then we saw a halt here. I believe that was a quick halt. I don't know why it's only one candle of 5 minutes. Should have been 5 candles, but anyways, saw a quick halt here, and then we pulled up to a high of 370. So, in hindsight, if I'd gotten long, these are some little wicks here, some little drops. I probably would have sold on this one coming into the $0.50 resistance. As much as I'd like to say, oh yeah, I would have held it all the way to the top. You know what? I know myself, and I probably would have gotten long over $2. I would have respected my stop loss because I'm really learning to do that right now, and I would have stayed long for probably 1 or 2 candles looking at this $0.50 resistance and then bounced out. It really didn't get too crazy extended, not until the very top where we saw it put in the top, got sold off, and then a lower high, and then that was it for the day, and it ran off. So that was ADPT. We got it on watch for tomorrow because the short percentage is still 70%, and it was a great move today. So this is a little swing trade that I had on PUF in the MJ sector. This was in my CIBC TFSA. This chart's been marked up for a few days here, and this is what I was looking at. So we came down here, we hit a low of 2.28 cents, put in a couple of bottoms, and then took off. Not crazy fast, but then we started to follow a trend line, printing higher lows and higher lows and higher lows. We got extended up here off of the 9 EMA. Whenever we get highly extended, we didn't on the RSI, but whenever we get highly extended off a moving average, we usually see some correction. We know that 40 cents is a pretty high resistance on this stock, just due to where it comes across over here. And we've seen a couple of moves into it, 1, 2, 3 moves. So this is kind of the only resistance that it respects. It pulled down here, and we put in a couple of bottoms on 34 cents. And I actually got long here on the 10th at 36 cents with 3,300 shares. Because I just liked the way it was looking. We started seeing some higher lows. We saw a higher low here off of this 34 cents, and that was where I got long. Came down here, put in a 35.5, 34.5, and then it came up 36. I got long, and then the same day it popped up to a high of 40 cents. I didn't sell. I held on to the next day, and we came down here. We printed a higher low again. A little bit of motion in the sell. And then I put my order in on this day for 41 cents for this morning because I thought, you know what, I looked at the level 2, it was thickly loaded at 43 and 42 cents, so I thought, yeah, I got a good feeling this thing's going to probably pop over the 40 quickly in the morning on a gap up. All the other MJs seemed like they were going to as well, so I just said, you know what, I'll put in my order for 41 cents. Sure enough, first thing in the morning on the open, it popped up. It actually opened at 39. It went to 41 right away. I got an email saying that 3,000 of my shares had sold, but it didn't take the other 300, so I just hit the bid while it was still sitting there. I believe it was still sitting there. I hit the bid and I sold the other 300 at 40 cents. So that was that, and it was a 100 and $40 profit in 2 days on my little $1,000 TFSA. So 10% return in 2 days on my TFSA account and my CIBC. I was very happy about that, and that kind of set me up. That all happened relatively right around I took my loss on. It was right after I took my loss on NADL. So one more. I actually made an intraday play on EMH here today. I've traded the stock quite a bit in the past. I really like it, and I find it's quite easy to trade. It gets range bound. It makes nice little few cent moves. So anyways, obviously we had the big MJ spike, some sell off. I spotted this 9 EMA support level at 159. This thing opened at 174, popped up to a high, and then it dipped all the way down right away. It sold off, went down to 159, and that was such a steep sell-off in the morning that I knew that there would be some sort of rebound. I didn't quite know how much it would be. So anyways, I got it kind of marked up here just roughly. So we came down here, we bounced off that support off a 9 EMA. We came up, popped up through, hit 163. I got long on, no, it came down. I believe I got long after the back test of 161. I can't remember. I might have gotten long here prior, but I knew that 159 was going to be my bare bones bailout for my stop loss. So came back tested, and then it came back up to 163. I think I got long prior to this back test, which is a little bit premature, but I was already had an eye on this 159 as my stop loss, not the end of the world. So back tested, so that's a higher low at the 161. Came up to 163. I was very happy about that. And made a nice little move up here to 165. As soon as it got over these 3 moving averages and closed, I figured, okay, you know what, this thing has a chance. And not a lot of volume, just a little bit of volume. I watched the level 2, came up here, got over the 200 EMA. I knew that 170 was going to be a big kind of resistance level, just due to a couple of spots in the back. Also, I was mainly watching the level 2 for my resistance on this, not so much the charts, just because it was a quick intraday. And yeah, I kind of bumbled around here, and then I set a couple of alerts because I had to get out of the office for a bit, and then I checked my alert again, and it was 171, and I was happy. So we got it over the 170, and then this thing just grinded up. It just grinded up penny after penny after penny, and 176 was loaded with shares on the sell, on the ask. It had, I think it had 46,000 or something like that. So I was smart. I put in my sell back here after it broke 160 for 170. Sorry, after it broke this 169 when it was in this range, I put my sell in for 175. And sure enough, came up, grabbed it, 800 shares, and I think I took down $83 on that trade. So I was really happy about that. So between the last 2 trades, I'm up around $220 in my TFSA account. In Monday, I initiated that PUF trade, and this was Wednesday today. So it just goes to show that with a small account, $1,000, if you're paying attention to the charts, you're spotting your support levels, you're spotting your resistance levels. There's room to make realistic small gains, 5 to 10% per couple of trading sessions. You don't got to go crazy. You don't got to swing for the fences. It's just all about base hits and getting some nice little trades of $50 to $100 that are going to add up and build that smaller account up to $2,000 and beyond. My TFSA is actually a little bit of a bigger account because I have a swing currently at the moment on RVV, which is a little bit down. It's actually my last trade that I think I will ever hold through a dip. I bought it, thought I found the floor. The floor fell out. I did not respect a stop loss. I held through it, and I'm still holding it now. I'm probably down about $400, $333 on a $227 account. So that's fine. I'm just going to keep holding it to Biotech MJ. I've mapped it out, and I feel good about it. They did just release some options today, but I'm just going to let that one ride. That's my back pocket trade, and it is the last one that I will never respect a stop loss on again, ever. You have to keep learning lessons. You have to keep making a couple of mistakes to push forward. It's not always the best to learn with a real account, with a live account, but I feel that I've curtailed my discipline quick enough that I've been able to minimize my losses and start making some gains. So my small Questrade account, it's hovering in that kind of $1,009 range. My small TFSA account, which is kind of one intraday and 1 to 3 day swings, is starting to move north, which is great. Great to see. I can't wait to get that little kind of $1,400 bump I've got right now. I think it's actually $1,481. I'd like to get that up to $2,000 just making these $50 and $100 trades. So hopefully we'll see that in the next kind of 10 trading sessions. And yeah, you guys can follow along and watch my trades. So that's all I got for today. I will show you. I didn't pull up a screenshot of my TFSA, but this is NADL. You can see I got long at 362 and I was out at 351, and look, it all happened within the same, it was 10 seconds. That was a 10-second trade. So $26 loss plus commissions and $10 in 10 seconds. So yeah, that's how quick you can lose your money if you don't respect your stop loss. Or if I'd held on, yeah, that's the one stock. Actually, that's the one stock that had climbed after I hit my stop loss. Only one out of all my last 10 trades. This is the only one where I hit my stop loss and it actually turned around and climbed north after. Usually I hit my stop loss and it keeps going south. So that just goes to show that anything can happen, but you should never hold on and never get FOMO, and just push through, respect your stop loss, respect your risk management, and follow your trading plan. Alright guys, that's it, and we'll see you tomorrow.